Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Stop this conversation. We got no relation.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday night show of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I hope everybody's having a good time tonight. It's getting pretty close to that famous day, old St. Patty's Day, coming in 2 weeks. Hello, Matilda. Good to see you. Want to thank UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 New Orleans, Mississippi. 107.7 New Orleans for allowing me to give you 2 shows a week, Sunday nights and Tuesday nights, 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. Eastern on UPRN Talk Radio. Besides my show, the show following me, my dear friend Miss C.L. Thomas, she has the Gateway Podcast, and she comes on 9:15 Eastern, which is my time at my show. That's 9:15 Eastern. And, after my show, please go over, give her some love. Tell her I sent you. Tell her I said hello. And also on UPRN, we have shows 7 days a week on this platform, starting at 2 p.m. all the way up until God only knows when. And there are a lot of great hosts on here. Great show, okay? And hey, Mitch, good to see you, huh? There's a lot of good hosts with a lot of good shows. So if you're really busy at night, and you're tired of the TV, tired of the shit you see on TV, put on, come on online and watch the shows on UPRN Talk Radio. I'm telling you, they all have their shows, all good hosts, and they all go different topics. And we have a kick-ass platform is what we got. you know, we have a kick-ass platform with a lot of shows. And I'm start sounding like a repeating person, but that that's okay. That's okay. So before I get into my topic tonight, I just like to do a little editorial. Okay. Now you all know me. I do speak my mind. Okay. And some stuff that I lose some viewers, maybe not. I don't know. But I have to get this off my chest. Now, my shows when I talk about good versus evil, okay? And I've been praying for and hoping that of a war or something. I'm going to get to that, Dyson. I'm going to get to that. Hey, what's up, Kevin? And so I believe right now that there is a battle between. Not only is it being fought out there in the spirit world, but it's also being fought on the earth. Okay. And my opinions on it, okay, it had to be done from what I read, from what I have seen, and what I have been dealing with. I mean, think about it, everybody. I've been going since the Vietnam War. I've been alive during the Vietnam War. I have been involved while I've been alive through Operation Iraq, Iraqi freedom. I've been through all these things, you know. I didn't miss. I couldn't see the lunar eclipse because it was raining and it was cloudy as hell. Yes, I was disappointed. I even set my alarm to get up early. But I've been through all these wars. And, you know, I've been in the military, and it's what I signed up for. When I signed my name on the dotted line, I knew I had, if it ever came down to, you know, to a situation, what's going on today. Now, everybody got to remember it's not a war. It is not a war, you know. No one put boots on the ground. So you really can't call it a war because it really isn't. And so, for all the shit that dude did to all his people over there for 47 years, this life is what we signed up for. Of course it is. Mission, I signed up to be in the military. I was in the Navy. And, but what this dude did for 47 freaking years to his people, it just wasn't right. It just was not right. And he was a big threat. He was. I'm not talking about the people of Iran. I'm not. In fact, my heart bleeds for them. My heart goes out to them. I love it when I see them rejoicing out in the streets. I really do. I love it. It puts, it really makes me happy. But when it comes down to that asshole over there, who got knocked out, um, plus the other ones that got knocked out, I guess it had to come. But, I really believe that the big man upstairs, or whoever you believe in, whoever you have faith in, okay, they probably all said, hey, listen, something's got to happen. And it did. Okay. And it did. Not too many civilians. Hey, Joni, good to see you. And not too many people got hurt. There were some casualties, yes. And the Americans lost 5 people, I do believe. We lost 5 servicemen. And I feel for them. I feel for their families. But what that asshole over there did after he got lights out, then they started to launch missiles everywhere. everywhere. So where did they get? The UAE, the Dubai, Saudi Arabia, all them countries over there. In fact, I hope they're hearing my show tonight because I'm hoping that they hear what I have to say. But these people, this dude, this asshole, after he got, zip, down, where he's seeing all them virgins, I guess. I guess that's the deal. Um, then the rest of them, and they launched attacks on Dubai. They hit Saudi Arabia's freaking oil thing, and now you got all those Saudi Arabia, all the Middle East people, the different countries going after that ridiculous person in the regime, I guess, if you want to talk about it, you know? So it had to be done. How else were we going to do it? How else was it supposed to happen? What, sit on our asses and just say, okay, if this is what you want to do, blah, blah, blah. Ah. But what really sucked was the United States helped so many different countries out there. It really did. And then the relationship they had with Great Britain, that's down the poop. The deal with Spain, that's down the pooper. So basically it was like the U.S. and Israel against this bad place. What I hope for is that they take the name Iran out and put the real name in, which was Persia. That what belonged there. The people over there deserve to be happy. The people over there need to feel that they can start something new. So this is what I see about it. This is what I think about what's going on right now. Do I want to see bloodshed? No, I don't. But when it comes to a conflict, in which this is a conflict. Oh, you're welcome, Dyson. Thank you. But when it comes to this conflict, there's going to be casualties, yes. But before this even happened, when the Persian people decided to go to the streets and try to take back their country, what did that jackass do over there? They eliminated close to 30,000 people because they were trying to get their country back. So yes, it had to be done. So what happens from now on? I don't know. Do I have a control over the situation? I don't. But what I can do, is pray to my God, okay, and just hopefully seek the peace. And the way it looks like there is possibility that there's peace on the way. Maybe it took one man. A lot of people are saying that, the big guy upstairs, the one that appointed our president to do this shit. There's so much involved in this. But you know what? If it's going to make the world better, if it's going to make everybody come together and be happy and not be afraid to go out and represent your country. Good evening, Michelle. and represent your country and feel safe in your country. And maybe my dream is actually happening here. I don't know. All I can do is continue doing what I'm doing. It's just, sending out that positive energy over there and praying to my God, not yours, mine, and seeing if he can add a little bit more energy and, a little bit more extra prayers for us. Hey, Donna, good to see you, hon. So that's what I feel about this war. Not a war, I'm sorry, a conflict. That's what I hear about the conflict. But I'm going to say one more thing, and it really, really, really gets on my nerves. Okay? I'm not making this show political tonight at all. But like I told you, I share my opinions, and I call it as I see it. When I see all the Persian people over, they're rejoicing over in Persia, and rejoicing in New York, and rejoicing everywhere else, Washington, D.C. We got people here who are totally against what we did. I can't make sense of it. I just can't make sense of it. I cannot judge anybody on what they choose to do. I cannot do that. I can't call them names because I don't want to, because it's not my place. But when I see our people not liking what we're doing, okay, but the Persian people are happy. I don't understand. I don't want to I want to understand, but I don't want to understand. And that's how I feel. But the biggest thing that I really thought, and it gave me chills, is when the pilot, the little girl pilot, her F-15 got knocked down by friendly fire, and three um, Kuwaiti guys, went over to her to see if she was okay. And they took video of this. They went up and asked her if she was okay. And to me, that is a start. That is a tiny footstep in the right direction. Those three guys from Kuwait going up to see if she was okay. So maybe my dream is coming in. Maybe it's happening. In the other video I saw with the pilot that come down, I mean, there were Kuwaiti people that were going to attack him because they didn't know who he was. And they were going to hurt him until he said, "Hey, well, you stay back, stay back. I'm an American." And he showed them the flag. And the dude that had the dude that had the metal pipe turned around and walked away. And the other dude went up to him and said, I don't know what he said, "Hey, Dee Dee." And they just walked away from him. But it goes to show that it's starting. The relationship between Kuwaiti, United States, maybe the Middle East, maybe it's starting. I am so grateful for it. I am. But maybe some people here in the United States who are against this, the only thing I could say is maybe get your head out of your assholes and just see what's happening. And just look at the Persian people who are happy and dancing in the streets. And like Mish says here, she's seen a clip that they are dancing to YMCA after this is all said and done. That's what it's all about. We need to spread the love. But I believe it's starting now. I believe that the healing's going to start. I really do believe that. Especially when I saw the little girl, the little pilot. But it amazed me, the F-15s are pretty big, and there's this little girl who's a pilot. you know, and 3 Kuwaiti dudes came up and just asked her if she was okay. I'm okay, Dee Dee. How about you? So that is my editorial tonight. Do I think what my thoughts are about the war? No, conflict. Excuse me, the conflict. Yeah, it needed to be done, and that's how I feel. I'm just happy the Persian people are dancing in the streets. But okay, so it is 8:31 p.m. and you know what that means? It's time for the break. So when I come back, hey Heidi, good to see you, hon. So when I come back from the break, I'll start doing a couple ghost places here in Ireland. Okay? So I'll see you in a couple minutes.
Welcome to the Light Gate, where reality bends and the unseen awakens. Preston Dennett, joined by Dolly Saffron, guiding you beyond the veil and into the infinite unknown. Every week we unlock high strangeness, extraterrestrial contact, hidden realms, psychic awakenings, the afterlife, and secrets they don't want you to know. Step through the gate, and if you feel the calling, subscribe to the channel and share it with those ready to awaken.
Okay, hold on. I got a couple more to play. Caught me drinking.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Hey, hello everybody, and welcome back to the second half of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I like what Mish had to say. Something had to happen, and someone had to say the word. And that is so true, Mish. That is so true. the first part of the show, first half, I talked about how I felt about what's going over in Iran. And I'm not going to go through it again because people know how I feel. It just said it had happened. And it's nice to see the Persian people dancing in the streets. Um, so, again, I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans for allowing me to give you 2 shows a week, 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this wonderful network. Don't forget, Miss C.L. Thomas, her show comes on right after me. Her show is called The Gateway Podcast. And also she also has a online magazine called Eerie Expeditions. And she really hasn't she has the ad up, but not on the main page here. So just go over to her show and just type in the chat room, say, hey, well, tell us about the Eerie Expedition, your magazine. Her magazine is really great. I am subscribed, so I do read some of the stuff that she sends out. But now it's time about the famous haunted places in Ireland. And as I told you on Sunday night, I'm going to do a little bit of not a lot, but a little bit of Ireland stuff, Irish stuff, before when the 17th come, which is St. Patrick's Day. And believe it or not, it's on a Tuesday night. Okay. And yes, everybody, I was thirsty. That was a good call. I like that. Yeah, I am very thirsty. I'm thirsty when I talk. Plus, I had some awesome stuffed hot peppers with sweet sausage inside it, and it was so freaking good, with spaghetti sauce poured over it in the oven, 400 for about 35-40 minutes. Oh my God, it was so freaking good. It was delicious. And hey, Carol she's very interested because she is part Irish. Awesome. So there was a couple places that I go. I do my AI. Everybody, So I typed in famous ghost of Russmook. That's where my family's from. Russmook, Ireland, or Galway, which also is where my family is. And you see and you read about all the magical little people over there. People talk about the elves, the fairies, very, very paranormal over there. Okay. And you know what? Maybe there are some unicorns out there. I believe there are some leprechauns. Yes, I do. But I haven't seen any yet, so don't know. But for all the stuff that I do read about it, I kind of like, hey, maybe. Because scientists are finding stuff to this day that they never saw before in their life. And with me, Ireland is very intriguing to me, especially the castles over there. I was stationed in Scotland, and I would go over to Ireland just to visit and just see the castles. And you walk into a castle over there, and you could just tell that like this was a very eerie feeling. But at that time, when I went, I wasn't into the paranormal. I wasn't into ghosts. I wasn't into anything like that. But I always had that eerie feeling when I would walk into a castle. And there were so many wars over there. There were so many killings, all kinds of stuff. Not all bad, okay? But there, a lot of people died over there. And so I figured, since I'm a paranormal investigator, and my roots are from Ireland, okay, why not come up and see, the famous ghost of Ireland or Galway Bay, Rusmuk? And so I looked it up, and there's a couple in here, which is very interesting. A couple of hauntings and the ghosts that are here in Ireland. But I do have a question for everybody. Okay, since St. Patrick's Day is on Tuesday, the night of my show, come up, if you want, please come up with some ideas on what type of show you would like. And just come up with ideas. And maybe I could sweet talk. Maybe I can sweet talk CL, and maybe we can do a 2-hour one on it. I don't know. I can ask her. I'm not sure. Let me see. Kevin says Olympia Place, Dunham Castle, a few I was reading about. Kara says, oh my God, I want to see the castle so bad. Doesn't matter if they're in ruins or not. I am just attracted towards them, which is great, Kara. But it'd be really cool, Kara, if you can. Try to get a past life reading and see if you were not part of the castle, if you were part of that. This says, have you bought your beard dye yet? No, I got my beautician getting that stuff ready for it. Yeah, I got my beautician. I told her about that. And Addie said, Michelle says, that would be cool, Sean. 2 hours with you in CL. That would be great, man. Go over and like tap her on the shoulder, give her a little nudge and say, yeah, what do you think? What do you think? And Miss says, oh, that's the night dress up like a leprechaun. I'm not that intense, dude. Trust me, I'm not. And Heidi's fascinated with castles too. But I will tell you something, okay? Here in Pittsburgh, there's a lot of Irish in Pittsburgh, all right? There's a lot of Irish. And on St. Paddy's Day, okay, they have it's called Celtic dancing, Cayley dancing, okay. And they have a big dance every year. And so you go to the dance. I would go to the dance with my mom and my son because they both did Cayley dancing. I didn't, but I just sat back and watched. But so you walk in. I would walk in and look at all the people that would be there. And they, there were people just dressed normally, nothing, maybe a little shamrock on them. Hey, Cindy Mitch, good to see you, hon. Maybe a little shamrock of some sort on their lapel or whatever. Or the women, have like a little bow up in their hair. And then you saw all the people who were decked out in green and white and have the buttons, kiss me, I'm Irish, and, and all kinds of good shit. And you know what? God bless them for being there. But the ones that are really all decked out about Ireland or St. Paddy's Day, they weren't Irish. The ones that just had a little shamrock on their lapel or the little bow in their hair, they were the Irish, And it's not that I'm knocking anybody that wears the green and white. My mom used to do it a long time ago. And I went up and I would sit down and talk to them. And, Kevin, I'm telling you, man, you should see the Cayley dancing, man. It's awesome, man. And then you got the guys that play the drums and the flute and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. But I don't know. I guess they say is right. Everybody is Irish on St. Paddy's Day. But some of the persistent ghosts in Galway, okay, and this one kind of intrigued me. Hey, Squatch man, good to see you. Maybe we can find a Squatch, huh, buddy? And Maybe it'd be dressed in leprechaun outfit or something. That would be pretty cool. Kevin says, castles in my past lives for sure had some dreams. But famous persistent ghost in Galway, Ireland. Now this first one, really intrigued me. Okay. It does, the name of the spirit is called Christopher St. George at the ruined Tyrone House in Colgan. I don't know. Kilcolgan. Killigan, whatever, I don't know. Is said to watch over his former estate. Other notable hauntings include a phantom at the Mayhem Cross and the Giant Ghost of Galway, reported in 1907. But back to Christopher St. George here, okay? Um, Back then, there was always a fight. There was always, I call them fights. I hate that word war, but I call them a fight between the Protestants and the Catholics. Okay, and they just did not get along at all. I mean, there were definitely conflicts between the both for a very, very long time. I remember in Scotland, the Celtics were playing the Rangers, who were the Protestants, in a soccer game over there. And oh my God, my ears, my ears had to be baptized again because of all the bad that was saying. The Catholics were saying this, and the Protestants were saying it was terrible. It was terrible. But according to the Tyrone House with this guy Christopher St. George, okay, he was from a predominantly Protestant family, okay, and he married a Catholic girl, and his family shunned him. Yes, his family shunned him. And now I'm going to come back to him in a little bit, but just because he married a Catholic girl, but they claim that he protects, he walks around his castle, where his place where he was born, keeps an eye on it. But what's really crazy is that the place is still up, but it's in ruins. Kevin says, castles in my past lives for sure had some dreams. Okay, just said that. So I'll get back to Christopher St. George because I looked him up because I thought it was interesting. And then there's another ghost. It's called the Mayhem Cross. Now all these are just here in Galway and Russmook, Ireland. Russmook and Galway. And I'm sure there's a shitload of ghosts over there in Ireland in different castles. But the Mayhem Cross is a phantom of a sad old man, appears on a sharp bend in the road, often reported to have cars drive directly through him. That would be crazy, man. But I tell you what, I'm going to share an experience with you. I was up in Conneaut and I was doing an investigation with my friends up there. And so by 2 a.m, I'm driving down 79. And there's just me on the road, nobody else. And it was a ghost. It was a full-fledged ghost. Walked right in front of me. I swear to God, I thought I hit it. Scared the living crap out of me. Yes. So they do exist. If you're driving on the road and you see some strange entity on the road, just say to yourself, you know what? It's only a ghost. So just go. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I do it. I've seen many, many apparitions on the road. And I've seen a lot of shadow figures that cross the roads too. So, but then you had the 1907 giant ghost. It's a massive spectre appeared to a group of men in a rural area, causing one to faint. But what would be a giant ghost? Think about it. A giant ghost over in Ireland, and there are not a lot of tall people over there in Ireland. They're about, remember, like 5'10", 5'11", if that. And if this thing was a giant, you could probably think, well, maybe it's one of the giants that came from the Anunnaki, or one of them mystical beings that are talked about over there in Ireland. Could have been a cyclops, whatever. Could have been 1907. Let me see. Heidi says, my dad's neighbor was a tiny, so very ornery, incredible sense of humor, and I loved her. Little Larsley. I was her backup when her wasn't there. She passed on St. Patrick's Day 6 years ago. My condolences, Heidi. My mom, she's 86. For 86, man, she's still a little spitfire. She really is. She's small. She's redhead, and she's Irish Catholic, and she's a monk. And all she has to do is look you in the eye, and you know you screwed up, or you know you did something wrong. And then you have this, the Knockbrack house. A poltergeist was known to throw cutlery, while another spirit was associated with a moved mantelpiece. Hey, Joe Fox, good to see you, buddy. Don't worry about having to let it be a side note there, sweetie. It's cool as hell. If you have any stories you want to share about the lady, please do. Galway Bay. Legends exist of a drowned fisherman's ghost heard during storms. And I don't know. I know when I was in Ireland, okay, the Irish Sea is a rough sea. It really, really is rough. In order to get from Scotland over to Ireland, you had to take a boat over, like a little ferry type of thing, and it was scary going over. And Galway Bay, it's not nice and calm and perfect. It is very, very choppy. So it's very possible that you could probably hear a drowned fisherman over there. I think it's really cool. And then got one more. Okay. The Dungaree Castle, and it's said to be haunted by a phantom horse-drawn coach. Kevin says that he has seen figures in treetops watching and similar shadow beings racing down my street, speedster style. I believe it. I believe it. Hey, Lisa, good to see you, hon. Thank you for popping in. But so this Cushy Glen, while the Russman nickname isn't widely documented for a specific Irish ghost, the notorious 18th century highwayman Cushy Glen, Patrick McGilligan, is a famous dark figure associated with murders and hauntings on the old Murder Hole Road in County Londonderry, not Galway. Good energy vibe around Irish lady, Heidi. Yeah? Hey, listen, the Irish always has good energy. No doubt. We do. Everybody does. And then there's a dark strength, the highwaymen, in Waterford for haunting specific locations. But these are just like the little thingies, the little history behind the Irish hauntings, the Irish ghosts. I mean, I could probably go on forever. Like I said, there's probably more and more and more ghosties over there. And a lot of better stories than the ones that I got up today. But before I go, because it is getting close to the witching hour, let me get to his name. I want to talk about Christopher St. George, which I think was a fascinating ghost. Let me see if I can find him. Let's see. Oh, hell. Here it is. The ghost of Christopher St. George is believed to haunt the rooms of Tyrone House in County Galway, which is where my family's from. Following his 1845 marriage to a Catholic woman, Mary Lynch, a scandal for his prominent Protestant family, he was disowned and cut off from his inheritance. He died in 1877, and his apparition along the disembodied footsteps and moans is said to haunt the area. And the key details of the haunting: Tyrone House is in Kilgolgan County, Galway, Ireland. The story: Christopher St. George, son of another Christopher, married outside his faith and social standing, causing a massive familial rift and loss of inheritance. The ghost reports include seeing his apparition in the ruined house, as well as hearing footsteps and moans. And St. George's family was highly influential, making this story a notable piece of local folklore regarding the decline of the Irish land gentry. So there you go with all the ghosts. And the ruins of Tyrone House are often cited as one of Galway's most haunted locations. And I find that pretty fascinating, and I'm glad I got to go and get into that. Like I said, there is so many ghost stories over there, so many ghost legends, so many legends that I could probably do a whole year of shows on. But we are getting close to the witching hour. Did anybody come up with any ideas on what they want to have as a what they want? What type of show would you like to have on St. Patty's Day? Hopefully, Miss CL would like to do a 2-hour one. Christopher St. George story, interesting tale indeed, Sean. Thank you, Heidi. I just can't imagine all the layers of history over across the pond. Oh, Lord have mercy. You just don't know, Heidi. You think your energy is like off the walls, off the charts over here. Man, you get over there, you step off the plane and walk into the woods, you're done. I mean, you better learn how to ground yourself. And I'm being honest with you, that's no bull. But we're at the time. I'm glad everybody could come in and watch the show. And God only knows what I will be having next week on the show. But it's that time, Joe Fox. You ready, my friend? It's time to pull another card. Okay. And we got the frog on Sunday. Let's see what we can pull tonight. And hopefully, maybe the animals' lucky numbers come to mind. Sean, no lucky numbers, buddy. No lucky numbers. Well, 1, 2, 6. We'll just go that way. Okay, so I'm shuffling the cards, and everybody knows I draw one card. And for the new people here, this card, it might pertain to you. It might not pertain to you. Who knows? Don't worry. You don't be sorry, dude. Heidi says, any creepier or hiding strangeness happened on St. Patrick's Day? I will definitely look into that there, Heidi. But so I'm going to pull the card. And this card, like I said, Sunday when you were here, you had the frog. Now I'm going to pull one for Tuesday, and maybe you can use the frog and this card that I'm about to pull. And it seems like that I've been pulling a lot of these cards that I've pulled in the past. So we'll see what I pull today. And shuffled, I cut them. And, this is a good one, everybody. I have a lot of them at my house. It's the rabbit. It's the rabbit. Oh, can you see it? It's the rabbit. Okay, Joe, it's the rabbit. But for me, when I see the rabbit, and from the rabbit, they like to multiply. So maybe, you have to see if your hormones are up to date and Some YouTube videos, Heidi Irish Tales. I meant lucky numbers on St. Patrick's show, Sean. Oh, okay. Okay. My bad. But to me, the rabbit also means fear, you know, um, because there's so many of them. And the rabbit in red. But I just watch the rabbits around where I live. There's so many of them. Okay, here we go. Joe Fox got it. All right. So Joe Fox said the rabbit as a spirit animal symbolizes fertility, yeah, abundance, and creativity, encouraging you to embrace new ideas and opportunities. It also represents vigilance and adaptability, reminding you to stay aware of your surroundings and trust your instincts. I like that, the last sentence on that. I'm tired of going down rabbit holes. I'm done with them. But I like the last sentence on that, Joe, reminding you to stay aware of your surroundings and trust your instincts. I like that. Again, thank you very much, Joe, for looking that up for me. I truly appreciate. You're a hell of a good friend. Love you, brother. Me too, Kevin. That was a great message. So, children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you have no children, and if you have no parents, find someone, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Because those three words, I love you, go a long way. And on that note, please protect the children. Please protect the children. And I will see everybody Sunday night. Have a good week. Good night.